Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are playing as the Dominion of India, and we've got a new journal entry here. So let's take a look at this. Communal divides. And this comes with a heightened intercommunal tensions. Extra radicalism increases for pops that are discriminated. Basically anyone in open prejudice or below. Is it possible that two nations, the Mohammedans and the Hindus, could sit on the same throne and remain equal in power? The history of Hindu-Muslim relations in India is both storied and complex, with episodes of collaboration and coexistence interwoven with ones of intolerance and cruelty. Nonetheless, for centuries, the two communities hobbled along under the auspices of their feudal masters. However, with the emergence of new national identities and the increasing spread of ethno-religious nationalism, it is clear that the old ways must make way for the new. Few voices, however, agree upon what these new ways should entail. A nation in discord cannot hope to endure. In one way or another, unity must be achieved. The two-nation theory. Hinging on the belief that neither Muslim nor Hindu can rule without oppressing the other, the so-called two-nation theory has been gaining traction in recent years. As long as the communal divides journal entry is active, attraction to religious nationalist political movements will be increased. Okay. So this will complete if at least one of the following. The Muslim majority provinces in India have been granted autonomy under a confederal system. Or all of the following. At least one of the identifying pop support of the Muslim nationalist movement is less than 5%, and the movement activism of the Hindu nationalist movement is less than 25%. Or the other way around. The Muslim nationalist movement is the pop support of the... Weird. Okay, hold on. No. At least one of these... It's at least one of these. Okay, so... It's okay, I get it. It's one from each. It's all of these, at least one of these, at least one of these. So it's one from each. We need the Muslim... So either the Muslim and Hindu nationalist movements both need to have activism below 25%, or one of them's got activism below 25%, and the Muslim nationalist movement size is less than 5%. And also, none of the, no political movement is insurrectionary. Alright, so keeping these things a little weaker is good. Alright, so I'm going to hit the All Indian Muslim League with a suppress. And we'll see where we can get from there. They're only at 6% now. And again, if we get them to 5 or below, or less than 5, then that's going to satisfy both of these. And that's going to complete the event. If we complete it, it triggers the event, the One Nation Theory. Will fail if the Dominion of India or its subjects have no states in the state regions East Bengal, Punjab, Sindh, and Kashmir. Here. And we're at peace. Alright, interesting. If failed, it triggers the event Great Divide. Alright, so I do want to do this. The Hindu national... Do I have a Hindu nationalist movement? I don't think so. The All India Muslim League is a minoritarian traditionalist. Okay, so religious nationalist... The Muslim nationalist movement and the Hindu nationalist movement will receive substantial attraction bonuses. But I do have those, or I don't. I have to imagine the All India Muslim League, even though it's minoritarian traditionalist, is in effect a Muslim nationalist movement. I have to assume that's the case. The Indian national movement is sovereignist, so they're definitely not. And I don't currently have a Hindu nationalist movement. So I don't think this should be too hard to achieve. Alright, anyway. Also we got a Protestant traditionalist movement, but who cares? This movement's got 70,000 people in it. That's nobody. That's functionally nobody. No offense to my industrialists and government, but you just don't. You're not that. It's a big country. It's a big country, and you don't count that much. All right. Gosh, we sure are paying a ton in interest. That said, we're closing in on the bottom of our construction queue here, and bureaucracy is doing better. Obviously, we're going to get a bunch more bureaucracy once the government is happy and we get signed and stamped back, but that may not be for a bit. So, we'll continue to do as we've been doing. Fun little event. A dangerous idea. Speaking at a protest rally in East Bengal, an Indian national movement speaker urged the listeners to boycott the British lifestyle and return to their Hindu roots if they wish to build a free Hindu nation. This has sparked fears of religious oppression among members of the All India Muslim League, leading to further animosity between the two groups. Okay, so the Indian national movement may actually count for the Hindu nationalist movement. Muhammad Khan couldn't believe the audacity of the speaker. The man had dared to say, "I'm glad to see Mr. Khan here, representing the Muslim branch of our party." And he was here before him. He'd fought the British in court and won. And now he was just a representative of the Muslim branch? And then the upstart dared to suggest a Hindu nation. What did he think all the Muslims and Sikhs would do when they heard that? Convert? They must both learn their place. 5% of Sunni and Hindu pops in East Bengal become more radical. 50% chance of a huge penalty increase of state penalties to turmoil. State penalties from turmoil. 50% chance of nothing. And also, both movements get more active but also weaker. Or better, they direct their rage at each other than at us. The Muslim League gets stronger and more active. 2% of pops more radical. And the Indian National Movement gets weaker. Good question. I think I'm going to go with the first one. That's going to be a lot of pops, but it's going to weaken both movements, even though it's making them more active. And getting them to reduce their pop attraction is pretty good. Sorry, just checking if the sound was working again. I get real nervous about that sound, I gotta say. Can I tried to make a steel mill company, but it didn't go super hot. Are the steel mills here doing good? They are. Well, they're not exactly productive. Would they be more productive if they used boilers? No? Maybe? No. Well, that was dumb of me. So good at economy. Oh, yeah. The cash reserves are going down. Well, now they're going up. I'm so good at economy. Let me try forming that steel company again. Because that was giving me something real good, if I recall. Actually, let me see if I can get a... It's gone. Let me see if I can get a power company. Because I got power now. Hooray! I can get +0 infrastructure per 100k population. What a great thing to have. All right. Extra loyalists from political. Wow, I get myself a lot of radicals. That might have been dumb. That might have been real dumb. That thing I did just now. All right. Ooh, vulcanization. That's very good. That's good for our tooling industries. Yes, here we go. Bombay, United Bombay Steel Producers. I'm going to try this one again. We'll see if that works. I just got vulcanization. So let me see. Please tell me I have a tooling industry. I don't have a tooling industry. That's a little bit of a tragedy. If I do say so myself. Do we how expensive are tools in this market? Not very. Well, that's why I've never developed a tooling industry. Alright, political imprisonment. Balaji Masdusi and his supporters have publicly petitioned at a prison in Pegu for the release of a pro-caste system not enforced protester held there on charges of disorderly conduct. The prisoner sat in his lightless cell, staring listlessly at the wall. The voices were beginning to carve through his mind again, repeating his name over and over, giving voice to his torment. He closed his eyes and covered his ears, bidding it to stop. Only when the blissful silence finally fell over him did he realize the chants were not coming from within his head after all. His imprisonment has already achieved its goals: increased enactment success chance, much stronger utilitarian movement, or justice will not be overturned by the dictates of the mob. Riot's unhappy, Zamindars happy, Balaji Masdusi will become less popular. I'm going to do the first one. 10% enactment chance. Heck yes. Yeah, give me that event. Very nice. We're getting to the end of our construction queue here, which is good. I wanna try to knock out the rest of this this debt, because I sure am. What is all this? Time modifiers. Oh right, because I'm doing stuff. I got controlling the press and the asylum revisions. I have a certain amount of unemployment in West Bengal, which I could deal with. Yaroslav Dabrowski. Oh my, that's not great. Who are you? Polish Catholic Radical. Interesting. Okay, the All India Muslim League has become secessionist. Okay, what do I do about that? So this is a secession movement. 15% progress. Usually I just beat secession movements. But I think this is going to end this. Hold on, how do I... So they're at 6%. They should be going down. I think I may have goofed up that event. Can I reduce their militancy in any meaningful way? They're mainly located in East Bengal. They'll pull East Bengal, Assam, and East India, Gujarat. They won't pull West Bengal, which I think is my capital. Yeah, which is my capital. Oh my goodness, I've got a real starvation problem here in East Bengal. Alright, well that's part of the issue, surely. What about in Assam? No, don't have a starvation... Only a tiny starvation problem in Assam. Okay, so East Bengal, I need to bring down the cost of grain. Oh my goodness, East Bengal doesn't have its own food industry. That's bananas. We'll throw all of these at the top of the queue and get them built just as fast as possible. Hopefully in 5 weeks. So this will take 8 weeks to flip around. So if I can get those built and hiring... In fact, I think maybe more than that many will be necessary. Because East Bengal is a huge population. East Bengal's got a population of 30 million. So actually, everything in Tonkin can wait. Alright, so we'll get some of those built. What kind of urban centers do we have here? We have a level 29 urban center. I don't think electrifying the, so just to make sure... Punjab, Sindh, and Kashmir. Okay, so I'm still holding Punjab and Kashmir and Sindh through puppets and directly. And this movement is not going to include those areas. It's only going to include East Bengal, Assam, and Gujarat. So I'm not going to fail the journal entry yet unless I need to be holding all of them, which I don't think I need to. No states. Okay. So that'll be fine. So how can I help out in Gujarat? Gujarat also has a starvation problem. Gujarat is in the process of being incorporated. Oh my gosh, if I lose incorporation on this, I'm going to be furious. Because that's a 20-year process right there. We'll go ahead and build some farms here as well. In fact... we'll throw most of them in next. And we'll see how getting a food industry built here in East Bengal helps out the situation. Well, steam-powered threshold machines will make them more productive, but I don't think labor is really the issue here. Did I get an event? Doesn't appear I did. I had an event for a moment, at least. Okay. So, we're producing a lot of grain, and this should be driving down the price of wheat here, which should be helping out with starvation. It's not doing that, however. Well, it's doing it a little. Alright, we're making progress. We're making progress, and hopefully that means this, this movement will stop being quite so large mad. Let me see. Not bad unemployment here. Alright, so I'm building more rice farms over here. So, the rebels' doctor. A doctor in Assam has been caught aiding wounded dissidents and revolutionaries. His aid isn't just helping his patients, but it's emboldened the entire rebel movement. The doctor's attorney leaned back, nursing a small headache. The medical man had proven impossible to work with. His attempts at defense had just dug a deeper hole for himself. His waffling was painful, and his refusal to trust his counsel or even his kinsfolk had ruined his chances of getting a lighter sentence. His persistent denials had served to only make his name mud. Investigate the medical profession in Assam for sympathizers. Reduce civil war progress. 20% of academics in Assam become more radical. Or one doctor was an obvious lone wolf. There's no need to follow up on this. Reduce progress by 5%. 2% of academics in all of India become more radical. So, Assam has, I believe, one level of universities. And how many universities have I got in the whole country? 33. So 20% of 1 is going to be less than 2% of 33. Oh, man. Math? Yeah, 20% of 1 is going to be a lot more. We'll do this one. There's going to be a lot less. Either way, it's going to drop the Civil War progress. Come on, caste system not enforced. Confusion and delay. Supporters of caste system not enforced among the Riots, headed by Balaji Masdouzi, have questioned the government publicly on the amount of time that is required in order for the law to pass. The government is, at this time, carrying out an atrocity through cold bureaucracy. It favors procedure over lives, paperwork over hunger. How many people need to suffer for the sake of the feelings of some government functionaries who've never felt a speck of hunger in their lives? Documents can wait, ladies and gentlemen. It is the people's suffering that cannot. The bill will be passed when the process is complete. Utilitarian movement much stronger and more active. 10% extra authority. Don't need that all that much. Documents can wait, the people cannot. Utilitarian movement much more active. Significantly reduced bureaucracy, but reduced enactment time. Well, gosh, I'm inclined to do the first one. I don't need the authority. Reduced enactment time isn't that big of a deal for the... Well, reduced enactment time would be nice, but the cost is going to be enormous. Increased authority will increase the speed of enactment by a little bit. So I'm going to do the first one, and that also has the upshot of increasing the pull of the utilitarian movement, which I do want to increase the pull of, because they're a good movement for the country. They are for a lot of things I want to do eventually. Alright, so this movement is still militant. Plus 5% from timed modifiers. Exploiting sectarian rifts. Not sure what that is. Do I have turmoil here? I don't. I still have starvation. How can this be? I just built an overwhelming abundance of rice farms. I shouldn't have starvation here. Well, I guess they're not really hiring yet. Or they're still trying to hire. Yep, and we're getting a big throughput bonus. So this should be, as these buildings hire more and produce more and more grain, that should be reducing the amount of starvation in the country. Yet it's not. Self-propelled torpedo. Excellent. Can I get that investment thing with Egypt yet? I've been improving relations for a while. Let me see. Yeah, no, they don't want it even a little bit. Well, that's a shame. I really thought we could make that happen. See, it's a shame that because part of the reason this is happening is because the All India Muslim League doesn't want the caste system to come unenforced. But I've got to get rid of the caste system. It's necessary. All right, Dhaka garrison refuses order. Order to violently suppress a popular revolt in Dhaka, a battalion of the East Bengal garrison have refused their orders, claiming that the execution of such a command would run contrary to the laws of men and God alike. Patriotism? I will gladly raise my rifle against the enemies of the Dominion of India. Should the Portuguese come knocking, I will do my duty, as shall we all. But to raise arms against kin, against brothers in blood and faith? Sir, this we cannot do. Insubordination, string up the ringleaders and jail the rest. Oh, that's a lot of devastation. I don't like that. 10% devastation. 10% of servicemen become more radical. 2% of officers become more loyalist. Reduce civil war progress by 5%. Or hush this down. We shall rotate the garrison eventually. Reduce training rate. Presidency armies furious. Do the presidency armies exist? They do. Well, not much. Still, they might once the Zamindars revolt. I'm going to say insubordination. Let's slow down this civil war as much as we can. They're still only militant at 77%, so I might be able to ride this out. Because they can't get above their militancy level, and that number is going to go down eventually. Yeah, it's higher because we're currently enacting caste not enforced, and by a lot. Extra from colonial subject. Extra from liberty desire. Interesting. What is our liberty desire these days? Oh, it's maxed out. Huh. Well, it is what it is. That's the situation. Am I at least doing something to combat starvation in East Bengal? I am. Alright. So that's something I need to continue to work on. We do have... We've got a serious unemployment problem. Actually, I can deal with the unemployment problem a different way. And that way is with emergency. I can't. I can only do it in places that have a famine or devastation greater than 20%. Interesting. Oh, emergency relief is really different now. Extra market access price impact, reduced tax collection, increased food security, increased infrastructure. Okay. Okay, so there's mild starvation, and that's not helping. I could encourage the agricultural industry. Yeah, that's good for now. Narayan Lokhand retires. Alright, so that puts someone else in charge of the trade unions. Mirza Rahman. You're a Sunni Dakhani reformer. Oh, cool. Reformer. Reformer is not a bad ideology. Alright, nice. Alright. A fort in a sea of anger. Mobs have surrounded an arsenal in East Bengal, threatening to seize the arms and munitions stored within. While the guards are staving off attacks for now, if no relief is sent in, the arsenal will fall to insurrectionists. I couldn't sleep last night. The commander refuses to accept terms, and the firing continues from both the arsenal and the emplacements that now surround it. After one loud blast, I sprang out of bed and went to my knees to pray. Pray as I'd never prayed before. Both of these has an equal chance of accelerating or decelerating things. I'm going to do... One of them makes 5% of officers more loyal, 5% of servicemen. I'm going to go with officers. My army is not a significant interest group at this time, and 5% of officers is a whole heck of a lot fewer dudes than 5% of servicemen. So I'm going to do the second one. And we reduced Civil War progress, which is nice. Got quite lucky on that one. Slowly but surely, we're improving relations with Afghanistan. They also don't want to be a puppet much. Is Great Britain totally infamous? They're not. Let me see. Can I see what my daily... Oh, that's right. That's right. Once I'm maxed out over there, I don't think Liberty Desire can go down once it's maxed. So we're slowly eating into our interest now. Our interest capacity is really high, but it does mean we're paying, or our credit capacity is very high. Yes! Alright, we're in consideration. That's great. That's just fantastic. I'm so very pleased. Yes. I was really hoping that, can I increase subject payments from Prussia? I'm gonna improve relations with them. No, I lost a bunch of influence somehow. When you have a hammer, General William O'Doherty, noting severe unrest in Assam, has proposed using the army to suppress agitation in the area. While his political allies support him, there is a heavy risk to following his plan. It's simple. We have an army. There is the enemy. Let me deploy my men and do what is needed. The enemy shall be vanquished. That is all there is to it. I know he's Irish, not English, but I'm not going to subject you to my... If you think my British accent's bad, you should hear my Irish accent. I will not subject you to that. Reprimand him and reject the plan. He's demoted to Major General, Government of India, mad. Or, we must use the tools we have to solve the problems we have. Chance of increasing Civil War progress. Increasing Civil War progress isn't that big of a deal. I'm going to do the second one. I can't afford to have the Government of India get even angrier at me than they currently are. There's an Assamese uprising against the Dutch East Indies, which I probably should have gotten involved in, but didn't. Alright. Just a little longer, and then Afghanistan and I will be good friends. Again, they're not... I don't own Afghanistan or anything. That's not a real thing, but, you know, it is what it is. To build the Victoria Terminus in Bombay, I need what? It was pneumatic tools, right? Yes. How close are we to that in production? Not close. In fact, we need reinforced concrete before we can make it happen. And we need to finish out the Tier 2s. I wonder if improved fertilizer would actually be a sensible investment at this time. But I gotta get my military going. Military's gotta be a priority at this time. I know it's killing y'all that I'm not building, but this interest line item is making me feel not good. I'm spending so much cash on Great Britain. All of it's going to Great Britain. Large numbers of Iwi people have been migrating from Denmark to Malaya. Interesting. The street-side standoff. Troops in Assam have reported more and more confrontations with belligerent mobs. Fighting will likely break out soon if nothing is ordered. There's only two ways to control the situation. Either pull the troops back or tell them to engage. The soldier shuffled nervously where he stood, shifting the weight of his gun back and forth as he stared at the crowd staring far too close by. He thought he recognized some of those faces, or he would have if they weren't twisted in utter loathing of him and his uniform. What was he even doing? Was he standing with the right people here? Order a withdrawal? 50% chance to increase or decrease civil war progress, 25% increased state penalties from turmoil, or our men are professionals, they can maintain discipline where they are, extra mortality, higher chance of reducing progress. I'm going to do the second one. I can't afford to have increased state penalties from turmoil. Ugh. I'm really, really hoping I can contain this. I am suppressing the movement at this time. The Zamindars are mad. Why are Zamindars mad? There's a free trade. Yeah, because the caste system. They sure do love that caste system. The Zamindars do. Alright, anyway. That is all the time we've got for this episode. My nerds, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun. And I will see you on the other side.